Welcome back to the Namdong Rugby Stadium here in Incheon. Halftime score in the game between Korea and Hong Kong. Korea out by 19 points to 12. And here are some of the highlights in that first half. An interesting first half, Tyrese.
Yeah, very interesting. Korea dominated in the first 30 minutes with possession. And indeed, very much a mirror image of the fixture back in Hong Kong 3 weeks ago. But Hong Kong hanging in there. Coming back, living off a few mistakes, but great driving line out that well created the second try. And Hong Kong still in this game at half-time.
Yeah, that first try for both sides, very interesting.
Yeah, it would be a very interesting changing room. 10 minutes from half-time, Korea flying high with lots of possession. Confident as a coach going down the tunnel to talk to your team about building on a strong lead. And indeed then, Hong Kong turning it around and a far happier coaching team going into the Hong Kong changing room before half-time than perhaps Korea.
Exactly, and I would think they would be very happy with the drive. There's the stats from that first half. What are we making of that?
I think the biggest statistic here is the tackle count, and we are seeing a huge tackle turnaround in terms of Hong Kong have had to make 100% more tackles than the Koreans. So that's significant in that first half and indicates the possession that Korea have had in the first half, but haven't perhaps translated that into a larger scoreline or deficit. So Hong Kong, as I say, everything else very much the same and winning their own line of possessions. Interesting penalty statistics there as well.
Yeah, and the one thing I suppose that will be said in the Hong Kong dressing shed at halftime is a couple of kicks, easy kicks. Well, they looked easy from our commentary position, but maybe they weren't because of that wind blowing down there, but Hong Kong could have done with them.
Yeah, I certainly think that Ben will be disappointed with, Ben Rimini will be disappointed with the conversion at the end of the first half. An easy one for Ben in relative terms, but pushed it wide. But certainly all to play for, one score in it. Both teams looking for bonus points, I suppose, as well in this game. Korea on the verge of their first bonus point with 3 tries, but Hong Kong will come out strong in the second half.
Okay, I'm going to put a difficult one to you. You're the coach of the Hong Kong side. What do you say to them coming out here at halftime? And the same thing for the Koreans. What would you?
I think the critical message from Hong Kong is this possession, and we know in Hong Kong, when we played against the Koreans, that they'll start for 5 minutes in the second half, but it's applying that pressure and still being in it with 20 minutes to go. So it's putting these mistakes, these critical errors that seem to have plagued the Hong Kong team. Korea, they've got to do something now special in the first 10 minutes. If they don't start particularly well, I think that they'll put themselves under pressure. But game position and field position is critical. Be interesting to see if there's any changes made at halftime for Hong Kong, because Niall Rowick came in on Hong Kong and gave them the field position that transformed the game for Hong Kong at the football club.
Yeah, just looking down at the players as they come back out, it does look as if there's no changes at the moment, even though there is a little bit of activity down on the reserve bench. But Nick Hewson is back out. I was missing him, but he's just run out, the captain of the Hong Kong team. So it looks as if the only change that we had was that when we lost Jamie Hood, and the number 22 Tyler Spitz came in for him, and that's the only change that has happened so far. But very interesting scoreboard. Korea 19, Hong Kong 12 as we head into the second half. And we're just waiting for the officials to come out. And you have the referee out there at the moment talking to some of the Koreans through Shimazu. And he's pretty happy now. And the Koreans will start the second half through Oh Young-jung, the 31-year-old. There we go. Taken in by the Hong Kong team, go to their skipper, Nick Hewson, on the 22. Big Paul Dwyer in there driving over the top. And the ball can be sent back to Rimini, and he goes long. This is Park Sung-jae, and they drop ball gone forward, and that's a mistake from the fullback. You don't see too many of them, Tyrese, do you?
I'm smiling because, Colin, this is almost again a mirror image of previous games. you wouldn't have seen that mistake made by the Korean team in the first half, and just a lack of concentration again. The number 8 would have carried it up in the first half. It's just uncharacteristic, and it seems to happen and plague their game early in the second half of each game.
Exactly. Hong Kong in a good position inside the Korean half, well inside the Korean half. Referee just got to straighten out the scrum. Ball put in. Swings around a little bit, but it's taken at the back by Houston, and now it can be rotated by the Hong Kong side to Rimini. He goes across to Kam Shin. He's taken to ground. They're rotated again. Oh, there's an interception, and it's Dwyer is the nearest man, and he won't catch him. That is a flyer, and that is Chang Yong-hoo. That was just a terrible ball thrown out the back. You can't do that with these flyers of the wingers that the Koreans have. And Chang Yong-hoo, the 22-year-old, showed his speed there. And he puts the Koreans out to a 24-12 lead with the conversion to come.
Well, that's exactly what the Koreans would have wanted. Set first up, that's what the coach would have been telling them. But again, the opportunity absolutely put on a plate by the Hong Kong attacking team. Lachlan Chubb in as the first receiver, trying to play a bit of football, trying to pass or miss out the runner on his shoulder. And again, advantage given back to Korea.
Yes, it was a terrible mistake. There was an opportunity. The Hong Kong team were well inside the Korean half. And here's now the conversion with the flags again on the far side having died down. A couple of minutes ago they were blowing and blowing, but that's looks a very good kick. And it is put over by Oh Yong-hyun. That's added another 7 points to the score. So it's gone out to 26 points to 12. And as you said, Dai, not a great start for Hong Kong.
Not the worst possible start for the team, and again from an attacking position, turned over ball. Story of the season so far.
Jamie Rimini, or Ben Rimini I should say, starts the game, restarts Park Sun-chai. They're holding on to it, taking their time. Now they can offload it to the front three. Sung Koo, Kim Jeep and Kwang Sik. Ooh, there's a loose pass, and it went astray unfortunately for Tom McQueen. But the Hong Kong team have it back again. Good piece of play down the far side, but taken into touch, a bit unlucky.
Start of the second half, lots of mistakes, and mistake in midfield by Korea, turned the ball over.
But he was just a bit unlucky on the wing. If he had another foot, I think he might have escaped and got away.
And certainly great little footwork by Nick Houston out wide to try and keep the ball alive. Critical 10 minutes now for Hong Kong.
Again, Park Sun-chai went up for it, but came down on the Korean side, but he's hustled into touch, knocked on.
Yeah, knocked on. Good pressure by the Hong Kong second rows, but unfortunately knocked on at the line and giving Korea the scrum an opportunity to clear their lanes.
The one thing you do notice, even right at the start of this second half, is the Korean team very slow to sort of regroup and get into the scrum. They're taking their time about it.
And this is where the officials, this is critical now, this is Korea will slow the game down, particularly now having that early score second half. And they'll start to slow and dictate the pace of the game, which is considerably lower than their first 20 minutes.
They won that out the back, and now they can clear it to Oh again, Oh Yong-hyun. And he takes it up towards the halfway line.
An injection of pace to keep the momentum in the game high now. Hong Kong need it, they need possession, and they need to keep pressurising, particularly through this 15 minutes where Korea will look to regroup, slow the game down. It needs to be, the Hong Kong team needs to energise and to keep the ball active, more pace at these lineouts.
John Aikman giving a whisper to Lachlan Chubb about the line out, and the Hong Kong team have it again. Rotated out to Spitz this time, wearing the number 22. He's in for those of you who joined us late, for Toby Fed, and the Koreans have turned it over, and it is the front row. The two at the front row, Kim Jeep and Park Sung-koo. Quick throw in. Now the Hong Kong team can move it, and the referee is going to call them all back. The flag is still up on the far side, and the flag over there being held up by Tazo Hirabayashi, the assistant referee.
So the good thing about that is that Tom McQueen is urgent, and he's keen to get on with this game, and this is critical for Hong Kong now, that they keep the game paced high, they keep moving this ball around, and cracks will start to appear in the Korean defence. But again, slowing the game down at this line-up is taking a good minute to get it together. There's the result.
Yeah, the ball was loose, but Hong Kong have it. Nice break up the middle by Max Woodward. Continued on. Houston throws it out the back. Picked up by McQueen, Alex McQueen, but he knocked it on. Knocked it forward. He was unlucky. It was a good piece of play by Nick Houston to squeeze that one out the back.
The early signs, Max Woodward just offloading the ball in the tackle, putting Tyler Spitz through the hole. A lovely little offload to Nick Houston. Does so well to get that away. I don't really think that was a knock on. I think Alex was a bit disappointed because he regathered it before it hit the floor. So, but obviously it was a close call.
Pushes on by the Koreans, and they have it. And here's a break out the back, and now it chases on, and there's a kick ahead by the scrum half. It's a race to the line, and Lee Mung-chung, but McQueen gets back. Alex McQueen got back and was able to get there first and touch it down. But that was a bit of a special break from Lee Myung-jung.
Yeah, put in all sorts of pressure on Nick Houston off the tail, off the base of the scrum.
Broke out the back. And we saw that in the first half with Kim Jong-min stealing the ball at the base of the scrum, diving over everybody and running away. Park takes it in. Park Sung-chai gives it to the full back, Jang Song-ming. Nice hands by Remini. Gives it to McQueen. This is Tom McQueen, or Alex McQueen. Tom McQueen on the far side, screaming for it. Now they can get it. Quick ball, and that's gone back, but they've lost it again. Koreans are in fast over the top of the blast, and the referee's whistle says it was knocked forward by the Korean player on the ground. He's up. He's okay, and it is Park Sung-chai, the 29-year-old man, knocked forward. Big man, having a good game.
Yeah, big guy, critical ball carrier. It'll be interesting to see in this heat whether he can keep up that work rate as we move through the second half. But a big, powerful guy, used as a ball carrier, not as a line-out option, but certainly a dynamic runner.
Had a good first half.
Very good, and caused the fringe defence in the Hong Kong team all sorts of problems, opening space up out wide for their quick backs.
Hong Kong put in. They're being screwed around sideways, but they got it. They can move it out the back, and this is McQueen, but it's charged down, but it's got to come. And a quick pick up. The Koreans had it. They've lost it. Now they can move it out. Good tackle onto Paul to wire, and Paul, the referee, is going to have a word with him.
Been outlawed in World Rugby, this tackle, and this looks as though you can see the reason why. No arm wrap, just a shoulder straight into the knee, and I think John Aikman's in all sorts of trouble there, and this is why World Rugby now are working hard on these chop tackles. You still have to wrap your arms around the legs of the player, not just throw the shoulder in, and you can see the kind of potential career breaking injuries that can that can occur. John Aikman in all sorts of trouble now.
Interesting that the referee, Rudy Shimazu, came over, had a quick word with his assistant on this side, and it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Again, I think when you replay this, you will see that there's no arm wrap. This is the time that referees need to see these. Lots of them are legal, there's no issue. Lots of them are arm wraps, proper chop tackles, as we were brought up in the game to tackle below the waist. But that one is as bad as going in high, leading with the shoulder.
That's not looking good for John Aikman as he comes off and he needs assistance. And I can tell you that the man that's gone in there is Hong Sun Wee, wearing the number 17, Hong Sun Wee, to replace John Aikman, and that's a big blow.
VARs, the assistant referees, have a role to play here. It was an easy C for. Referees tend not to be looking to see whether players are wrapping arms when they're going low. And
Rudy's having a long chat with his assistant here. What's he going to do? Go for a yellow card? I think the Koreans have sort of decided maybe that's what he's going to do, but still having a discussion. And he's going to call the player out. I think it's going to be the number 3, Wang Sik. And they're saying he put his shoulder in as he reached for the pocket. Pocket, unfortunately, away from our view die. He'll go for that pocket on the right-hand side if he's going to pull a yellow card out. And I think he might have reached for it. He's still discussing it with the captain. Yeah, a red card. He's shown him a red card for that tackle.
No, in defence of Korea, that is a harsh call. I talked about it being outlawed. I think that's the other extreme now. Again, I'll be interested to talk to the sighting officer after, but a big call.
Big call for Kim Kwang-sik, and he's gone red carded. So the Korean team down to 14 players. But as you say, it's one of those strange tackles going in with a shoulder. You might miss with the arm, but if the shoulder catches the player, not very good. Here's a change for the Hong Kong team, and now Rowak is going in, and it's going to be the number 10, Ben Rimini, who's come out. So a switch at out half for the Hong Kong team. This play continues now with Korea down to 14 men, and Hong Kong gathering around, keeping the ball. Hand is out. Hong Kong still holding it, still going forward, driving forward. Good drive by the Hong Kong team. Hand gone out. Infringement, says the referee. Ball is on the ground, taken down by the Koreans, but he's going to come back for the penalty. And I like that. Neil Rowak deciding, cool it down, fellas. We can make a choice here, but we'll think about it.
Well, as boring as it is, Colin, as an ex-outside half full-back, with them down to 7 forwards, this is the kind of pressure now that the Hong Kong pack have to place on this 7-man Korean pack. Again, a poor kick to the corner, though. I'd expect more from an outside half, international outside half guy. And haven't got within 10 metres of the line there. But again, as a coach, really, really frustrating.
And the interesting thing is, looking down the Hong Kong reserve side, you've got 4 or 5 forwards in that reserve bench.
Again, mistake there, going for double tops, as we call it, or a hit of 6. Needed to secure possession, gone for the tail of the line out. Crooked field, giving possession straight back to the Korean team. Critical error again in terms of the throw-in by Lachlan Chubb.
Kim Jeep to throw in for Korea. Goes short and soft. Finds it to Kim Ho Bum. And there's Adrian Griffiths came straight down the middle. The Koreans didn't like it. That was straight now is a chance. Good take in, but then the ball is knocked forward, lost out of the hands of Kam Sin Yu. The Koreans have it. They're trying to move forward with it. And that is the number 6, Jan Sung-won. Now they can rotate it. This time they come across to this man who's having a power of a game, Park Sun-chai. Korean player down injured at the moment as the tussle goes on near the sideline, and then the ball is knocked forward, but the referee has penalized the Hong Kong player, and it's Adrian Griffiths he's pointing to. Meanwhile, the player that's down is the speedster Ji Gal-bin.
What an opening. My wow is it's end to end again. It's lots of mistakes. There's no control in the game now.
That's a good kick from Oh Young-hyung off the side of the boot. But they still have Ji Gal-bin down. He's up. He's okay now.
What you're going to see here as well, Colin, very much a slowing of the game now, naturally. Good tactics by Korea, slowing the game down, 14 men.
Go to the end of the line again, box it back. Chance for the number 2 to come to, Kim Jeep. There he is, out on this side. Taken down, good tackle, ball, oh, that's a penalty. Went down straight away. Can't tackle the man without the ball, can you?
We talked about empathy for the game, and I understand that there was a knock on, but Hong Kong wanted to play away. They were illegally stopped from playing away. For me, that's a penalty. The Hong Kong team weren't allowed to take advantage of the knock on by illegal play, and for me, that's a penalty immediately and should have been possession to Hong Kong.
Yeah. And just looking down at the gathering of the Hong Kong players, a lot of talking going on with the Korean team. Talking to some of the officials on the bench. They have Shin Dong-won, who's a favorite here in Korea. Lovely guy, spent a long time of his life in Christchurch in New Zealand, and as I say, he's getting ready to come on. He wears the number 18 when he shows up, Shin Dong-won. In the meantime, the number 2, Kim Jeep, the hooker, he seems to be up and okay. He's just looking as well, Adrian Griffiths down there, he seemed to be having a problem with his left leg. It'd be interesting to see. And,
yeah.
The Korean players are appealing to their coaching staff. I think they want to change, but the captain is calling them in, the number 7 there, Kim Jong-min.
They have to make a substitution because obviously they've had a front row forward sent off and not able to make a decision in terms of the guy they need to pull off now for the rest of the game, and they've made the call on the big fella in the second row.
Shin Dong-won comes in, wears the number 18. Means that the Koreans have taken out their number 5, Young Kwan-woo, the 30-year-old, who plays with the Yogo team. And now the number 17, Kim Min-kyu, making 2 changes. Kim Min-kyu has come in as well, and you can see that
Number 5,
Park Sung-kyu is out. The number 5, Young Kwan-woo has come out. And also Kim Jeep is out now, the hooker. And here's the Koreans having to defend now as the Hong Kong team take it forward. They're still inside their own half, but they can recycle it. Moving forward, getting over the advantage line again. Ball is still back on the Hong Kong side, but a couple of the Koreans have gone in for it. They're outnumbering the Hong Kong team at the moment, and it's come back on the Korean side. And it goes 2, that man who has come in, Shin Dong-won. Here's the Hong Kong team again with the speedster. The fullback is in the line, and it's taken out to the number 14, Jigal Bin, who was injured a few minutes ago. Didn't show an awful lot of it there because he has a lot of speed. Taken down. And a good tackle in there by the captain. But the Hong Kong team penalised. And it looks as if he's penalised Toby Fenn.
Yeah, and I think there was a good call by the referee. Toby didn't release the tackler, but the frustration is that the referee's been very inconsistent in this area. He's allowing some guys to get away with not releasing the player. Toby doesn't release the player completely before he goes in, so it's a fair penalty, but some players are getting away with it and others are not, and it's becoming a very frustrating area of the game for the players on both sides.
That's why Nick is talking a lot to the referee, asking him nearly, and it's a bit disturbing for a captain to be having to ask the referee to explain a lot of decisions.
Yeah, that's all you ever want is consistency in each area of the game, whether right or wrong. As long as it's consistent, players and coaches can adapt to that, but unfortunately it's very inconsistent, and there's been a trait of certainly the 3 games that Hong Kong have been involved in this year.
The kick, good kick. Yeah, he hasn't missed many today. Ho Young Hyung, he was off form in a couple of the other Asia Rugby Union Championship matches. And there's a change for the Hong Kong side. Damien Bailey has come in, and also coming in is Alex Badley. And coming off is Toby Fenn and Adrian Griffiths as well. I thought he was carrying well, no, he's not coming off. Just looking down to see who's...
2 flankers have come off. Matt
yep.
Lamin and Toby Fenn have come off. Nick Hewson will revert to his favourite position as 6.
There's the ball lost forward by the Koreans, picked up by Hong Kong. Now they can move it down this side, and that is Hong Sung Wei with the move forward. Again, Houston gives it inside to Parfit. Parfit goes to ground. Good inside ball. Well, it was nearly a very good inside ball from Damien Bailey. Spinning out of a tackle, out of one tackle, runs into another, but Hong Kong still keep possession. Good break by the number 23, that's Rowak, and he's held 5 meters from the line, 10 meters from the line. He gets pushed back a little bit, but Hong Kong keeping possession. Quick ball, quick handball, and they've lost it, but they can get it back. And this time they go to Woodward in the middle, and the referee is bringing them back, going to give Hong Kong the penalty, and he's telling the Korean, Nick Houston is saying, okay, we're going to go on the line, and Neil Rowak is going to put it into touch right on the 10-meter line, setting up an opportunity and a chance for Hong Kong to get back into this game. Remember, of course, that Korea are down to 14 men, having Kim Kwak-sik red-carded early in that second half. Long down to Adrian Griffiths. He takes it at the back. If the Hong Kong team can hold it up, they have it at the back, but they're being pushed, and they've lost ground. Lost at least 5 meters. But it's still there for them. Now, goes out to Parfit. Takes it forward. Griffiths over the top of that. They go out to Griffiths again. They're going to use him as a big battering ram, and now they have a chance to rotate it out the back. That was a bit behind the player, but was he tackled without the ball? And it looks as if it was Alex McQueen taken out, and 1 or 2 of the Korean players, a couple of them suffering with cramp, and down in the middle of them is Ho Young Hyung. He's got a problem with his left boot or his ankle. There you see the replay of that incident, the ball coming out the back.
The ball out the back is just not working for Hong Kong. It's only successful if you pull players in tight with big runners first and free up the extra players coming through the back and as the second wave in attack. And at the moment, Hong Kong are not punching close enough, not bringing big players on to pull in the inside backs of the Korean defence, and it's a concern that Hong Kong are trying to play wide without first securing the space to be able to play wide.
Well, they've got an opportunity here again. They're on the 22, right smack in front of the posts, and they've got 61 minutes gone in this game. They trail by 12 points to 29, but here's McQueen trying to dodge one player, got past him, but they still retain possession. Good drive forward again by the Hong Kong team. They still have it. They can move it out the back, and they do to Rowak, and now they can get it out to Woodward. He's got assistance, he's got help, and going in to help him was Alex Badley. Still there for Hong Kong, the captain. Nick Hewson having a great game, leading by example. Still there for them. Goes across to Rowak. He goes inside, right in front of the posts. Opportunity knocking for Hong Kong to get a score on the board. Long ball, good ball outside, and there's an opportunity and a great chance and a good offload. And Hong Kong are in for another try, and that's Tyler Spitz this time. Nice offload.
Yeah, lovely offload, a great try, but I've got to say it was probably inches away from being a try at the other end. The long looping miss pass, just about taken by Max Woodward, and a lovely offload, but pulling Hong Kong back into this game with 18 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, good try, good movement in the ball, and that's what you were saying, that they have to move it pretty quickly. They're starting to show that.
Yeah, certainly. This is Hong Kong's pattern now as they run in towards the last quarter of an hour. They've got to increase the pace of this game, and for the first time there, probably Hong Kong punched a few bigger guys closer to the contact area, which freed up the space out wide, but they really do need to keep the pace on the game now, and I've got to say Moses Bailey coming on has had a huge impact already with ball in hand, and he's a fizz. He does it in club rugby in Hong Kong, and he's proven to be a great substitution at the moment.
Here's Neil Rowak with the conversion attempt from out wide. It's looking good, it's looking good. Oh, it was very good until the last minute, and suddenly it hit that upright. So it's 29 points to 17 as we go into the last 12 minutes of the action. But it's noticeable, Di, that the Korean team are a little bit leggy at the moment.
Oh, certainly it's a pattern we see from the Korean teams over the last 6 or 7 years. They'll slow things down, they'll try and play this clock down. It's important again that the officials keep control of the game, keep a close watch on the clock, but also encourage the Koreans to play the game and keep moving to set piece.
Kwang Young has gone into the action for the Koreans, wearing the number 16. Here's the clearance. Oh, nice take. Well taken by Jin Galbin.
Great tackle by Moses Bailey.
Yep. That's a probing kick, taking it inside the 22. A race back for the Korean team. And they're surrounded by 3. There's only 2 Koreans there now. There's a couple more arriving, and they needed cover at the back. Hong Kong were outnumbering them, and Hong Kong still might have this. They still keep it. Turnover for the Hong Kong team. Now it's gone back to the Korean side again. There's a real battle going on in there for that ball. Here is, he's broken away. And this is the man wearing that big number 8, Park Shin-chai, and a good run again. They got a man free on this side. This is the full back. Jang Sung-min taken to ground. Good run, good attacking play. And the referee has penalized, and there's a situation there where there's a few handbags.
Oh, it just goes to show now it's dreadful refereeing. He says, I'm sorry to have to say it, but again, the players work hard. The tackle has got back to his feet. He's allowed to play the ball. Yukam Singh, fantastic elite play, performance play, and the referee has penalised the player for total legal play, and it's difficult as a coaching staff, and both sides are suffering from inconsistency at the contact area, and it's just a concern for Asian rugby.
Park Sun Chai, the big number 8, great run from him out of the back, then got assistance and good run down this near touchline. But they've now found touch, and Kam Sin Yu was getting involved in a handbag situation, but they sorted themselves out. And the Koreans have it now. They drive forward, and remember they're a man short up front. But the Hong Kong team, they held them up, but here's the drive. Oh, and a lot of the Hong Kong players fell off that, and here's the captain again. Going forward, Kim Jong-min. Good tackle. In on Kim Ming. Still back on the Korean side. Koreans are trying to sneak over the line. They're driving it forward again. Hold on to it, but they keep holding on to it, and then it comes loose and it's gone out the back. And here's the big number 4, Kim Ho Bum, taken to ground. And the referee is going to penalise the Hong Kong players, and he's going to take them back to the 5-metre line. Free kick to the Koreans.
This comes down to a lapse of concentration again by the Hong Kong defence when they had Korea pinned within 10 metres of their own line, and breaking clear and putting the Hong Kong under all sorts of pressure now. And again, time that Hong Kong can ill afford to be spending without the ball.
Throw in 5 metres, 10 metres out, and a change for the Korean team. And Hwang In-jo, the number 20 has come on, and also the number 23. And there's the a new man in a new cap for the Korean American, Andre Jin Kukiad, young man brought up in Korea and in Canada. But here's the skipper trying to go through. Kim Jong-min being held up, and they get it out the back, and that was Shin Dong-won. He's still back in there fighting for it, and the Koreans have it, and here's a chance of a drop goal right in front. And I suppose the action from Oh Young-hyun tells its own story. He's able to drop goal and takes the score out to 32 points to 17.
Great control by Korea, Colin. Fantastic. They need to come away with something, particularly with 14 men. That could be a critical play in us taking them 2 scores ahead with time running out for Hong Kong.
Yeah, and I think they realised that as well, and that's why he went for it, and that's why they were jumping for joy. They must have thought to themselves, we definitely need a score. Hong Kong were getting on top. Rowan, good run. Good distribution, good opening by Alex McQueen. Saw the gap, went for it, was able to get through. Here's Parfit going through, got assistance there from Chubb. Big drive over the top. Hong Kong secure the ball, the big 2 up front, Griffiths and Dwyer hold on to it. Oh, did he tackle him by the legs? Looked like a trip, but the referee didn't say anything. So here's a good piece of play by Griffiths there with the hand, and just watching the man coming into the action, and he got into the tackle, but he didn't make the tackle because the ball had disappeared on the Korean American, Andre Kokiad. Here's Parfit driving forward, taking Oh Young-hyun with him. The ball is buried underneath, and that's That's not coming over the coming up the straight. And here's McQueen. This is Tom McQueen. Gives it out to the winger. They have a chance if they can spread it again from Kam Shin Yu. Oh, a hand went out. Taking it quick. Here's a chance in the middle. Gone out to big Paul Dwyer. And big Paul Dwyer's got over right under the sticks. Bit of juggling die, but they got there.
Yeah, it's great to see the Hong Kong with a bit of urgency now. They can sense that the Koreans are tired. It'll be an interesting last 8 minutes, I think, left on the clock. This game is long from over. That drop goal we just saw a couple of minutes ago from Korea may have a significance on the game, but if Hong Kong can maintain this pressure, anything can happen in this last 8 minutes.
32-24. And a lot of the crowd came to see a lot of points, and they're certainly getting that. 56 points scored in the game so far, and as Diary says, there's a fair bit of time left. And the Koreans are still ringing the changes, bringing in new players to freshen it up because they were dragging their heels a little bit. They do have a problem because Oh Young-hyung, they're out half, and the leader of the side at the moment, not the captain, but the leader of play on the park, he's down injured, way back in the 10-meter line in their own half. There's the kick taken in by Nick Hewson. Gives it off. This time to Max Woodward. Woodward taken to ground. Rotated by the Hong Kong team. Roak goes high in the air. Taken in by the fullback, Jang Song Min. Shuffled out by the Korean team. They go to Jigal Bin. They don't seem to have a half-back at the moment. That was Kwang Yung, the 23-year-old. Plays with Samsung. Passed on the referee's whistle, going to penalise the Hong Kong player. That was the man who scored the last try, Paul Dwyer, from not rolling away. And you can see the Korean team are going to take their time over this.
Yeah, good call by the referee there. Paul Dwyer really failing to get out of the contact area. Trapped under there a little bit, and you've got to show the intent to get away.
And the referee has seen, I think, a bit of blood on one of the Hong Kong players, Min Young. He wants him attended to. Maybe it's actually it's an eye, and it's starting to swell up a little bit. Would you expect that from that battle?
Yeah, it's been a real bruising encounter again. Lots of mistakes by both sides. Disappointing from that respect, Colin, in that we'd expected 3 games into this championship, or 4 games into this championships, you'd see a clinical, more clear, and less errors in the game. And unfortunately, for both sides, there's been lots of errors today.
Yeah, but I'll put this forward as an excuse for both teams. You know, a lot of pressure on them because this is a crunch match.
Yeah, lots of pressure, but again, as performance nations in Asia, we have to be pushing the bar. We have to be trying to close the gap on Japan, as both for Korea and Hong Kong. And there's just been too many fundamental errors from both teams today. And as coaches, coaches turn their ear out, both in Korea and in Japan this evening.
Ball out of play inside the Hong Kong 22. Number 2 has gone out. Lachlan Chubb, and gone in is Alex Harris. The Hong Kong team being pushed back. And Korea still maintaining it there. What? 15 meters out. 10 meters out. And here they go again, breaking tackles, running across towards the uprights, and they can rotate it. And that's Shin Dong-won right under the posts for the Koreans. Misses out, gives it to the number 22, and that's Lee, and they're going to go over. The Yutiam wearing the number 22. Eventually given off to Kim Namuk.
You've got to take the hats off to the Koreans this game. Fantastic try again. Critical error back on the halfway line, turning the ball over. But when you put the Koreans on the edge of the Hong Kong 22 today, they've been clinical. They've managed to hold on to the ball, put the Hong Kong defence under extreme pressure. Their big runners pulling the inside defenders in and then creating the space for the backs to be clinical. And take your hats off to Korea, 14 men, and really have come up and stepped up to the mark of 14 guys on the pitch for most of the second half.
And it's the offloads, it's the very quick offloads that's sort of catching that quick offload by Lee Yoon-tum, the number 22, offloading it inside Kim Nam-muk. Gone over. Here's the kick from Andre Jin Kukiad. This young man who played soccer in Canada, but he's got right underneath that. Oh, he's played that like I play a 7-iron out of descent.
Certainly gone and thinned that one. He's got right under it.
Yeah. I saw him in practice, I think I mentioned it to you earlier, and he can kick a ball. This guy, he was kicking them 40, 50 meters yesterday, but he just got right underneath that one. Oh, they left it bounce, but it's okay. It's gone back into the hands of the Hong Kong team. 37-24, and the clock kicking over to 2.5 minutes left in this game. Roark comes over this side to Kam Shin Yu, but he's taken out of it. And they were offside, taken quickly again. Gives it inside to Woodward. Is there.
Yeah, and he's not doing a lot about it now. There's lots of killing of the ball at the contact area.
There's a big run forward by Damien Bailey. Oh, that was along the ground, and it came up, but he's penalised the Korean team. Again, he's going to talk to Shin Dong-won. He's saying to him, tell your players they've got to get behind the last feet. Who's he bringing over? He's bringing over the captain this time, Kim Jong-min. And why he has Shin Dong-won in there is because Shin Dong-won can actually speak Japanese as well as Korean as well as English, fluent in 3 languages. That young man. Here's the rotation from the Hong Kong team. Good ball to Bailey. Bailey taken to ground, but Hong Kong keep possession. They're only a meter out, 2 meters out, being driven back. But here's a chance, and the chance is accepted. And it's the skipper. It looked like the skipper.
There's a bit of time added on. This is going to make the last. There's a 6-point game. This is going to make the last 5 minutes very, very interesting, Colin. Hong Kong with their tails up. A 6-point game. Korea will walk back, take their time. There's been some stoppages, there's been the substitution, so I see that it's on the referee's watch. I would have thought there's 3 or 4 minutes to go in this game.
And that was a big try for the skipper for Hong Kong, Nick Hewson. So there's a lot to play for, 37 points to 31. And Hong Kong have the chance. Can they run it from the back? They're going to try. Woodward steps inside. They can rotate it again. They're coming over this side. And this side, they try to give it away to Kam Sing. He makes it up to the halfway line. They're just short of the halfway line. But now they got a big, big wide outside. Roark goes long to McQueen. Alex McQueen, he's got a man, 2 men free on the far side. That hasn't been, was played at, but wasn't touched. And this time the Koreans are able to scramble And that was a chance. There was a chance over there on the far side. And now a bit of, what did they call it in Wales? A bit of how's your father?
Oh, a
Handbags?
little bit of handbags, I think.
Yes, and the referee has gone over there and he's saying, come on, fellas, break it up. It's a sunny afternoon here in John. And they all get up and walk away and want to have a chat with the referee. And what can you say to guys like that when they get into it?
This again, it looks as if it's indiscipline. I don't want to predict anything, but the flag is in, and this could be the end of the game for Hong Kong.
And he's talking to his assistant over there, referee Shimizu from Japan. You can see him there, the two of them, having a long chat. And he's talking to Kajiwara. Teru Kajiwara. Reaching for the pocket, is he? They're down into the last couple of minutes of the game.
Well, looks as though it's gone the other way. There'll be one more opportunity maybe for Hong Kong. Need to be speaking to the referee now to see if there's time to go to the touch to get a platform to play off. Don't need to be panicking if it's not the last play. I'd suggest there are a few minutes left. There was a long break for the substitution and the injury to John Aikman earlier in the game. There was also a long break for the substitution of the sent-off forward. So there's a few minutes left in this game.
He's brought in Kim Na-mook, the Korean player. The captain is in there, Kim Jong-min, and also Shin Dong-won. But as I said, Shin Dong-won will be in there as an interpreter, as well as a player. There he is walking away. Delightful character, 29 years of age. And he's seen to be the leader out there in the forward line anyhow. He's directing the traffic.
There's a yellow card there, so
yeah,
play the game out with 13 men. So
number 12 is gone. Kim Na-mook, the man he called in. So they have 13 men. Here's a chance for Hong Kong. Adrian Griffiths takes it in, holds on to it, gives it back. Nice pick up, given inside. This is Alex Harris, goes to ground. Now they got an overlap on the far side. Here is McQueen, and Tom McQueen gets it from his brother Alex McQueen. Tom McQueen goes to ground. Parfit holding off one, holding off the second Korean. They just got to keep moving the ball. Parfit throws it. Ooh, and that came off the hands of one forward. And a mistake, and here's a chance for the Korean team. They go forward. The man taken out was the number 14, Jiggle Bin. And that was a golden opportunity for the Hong Kong side. They still have it. As Diary said, there's still a little bit of time to go, injury time, but that's a loose ball thrown in a panic, and now they can go wide to the outside. Chance. Got to have a little bit of help over there. Goes inside to Tom McQueen. He's taken to ground. And they're fighting for it, as you can see, and the Hong Kong team have it. They go to Woodward. Over the top, the skipper trying to help out. The ball comes out. There's a big, wide gap on this side. If they can retain the ball, Griffin goes inside, and they won't catch this man. This is Kamsin. They won't catch him, and he'll go right under the posts. Oh, yes. What a try. And you can see the jubilation on the whole of the Hong Kong team. They've all gone down. What a break, and the speedster got a hold of the ball. They needed him to be in the right place at the right time, and he certainly was. And Kam Shin Yu right under the post in the dying seconds of this game. And I can tell you, my co-commentator is very excited at that.
Wow, what a finish to the game. Look, if Hong Kong could play for 80 minutes, the way in which we played in probably 2 10-minute phases, still too many mistakes, but what a great try by Yukam Singh, a local hero in Hong Kong. Hero worshipper, critical kick here. It's gone over.
Straight over, and the final
and there's
whistle.
The final whistle. Well, I think if we look at the standings, I think it's still wide open. It comes down to points difference, and the game back in Hong Kong next week against Japan becomes critical. 1
point, and they needed that break, and they got it right at the end. Nice break down the left-hand side, and once there was an opportunity there to get the ball to a speedster, and they couldn't find a better speedster than Kam Shin Yu, and he was gone like the clappers.
Fantastic. A little bit of interplay down below us here, Colin, particularly from 2 local heroes. Leon Wai, just a little bit of acceleration as a front row forward, lovely hands, I think, through to Adrian Griffiths, and then a lovely offload to certainly a local hero, Yukam Singh, to score under the sticks, and he's enjoyed a brace today.
And that's going to be a nice reading for the Hong Kong supporters. Korea 37, Hong Kong 38. They won it in the last minute, and you can see the players out there. They've given their all, and the Hong Kong team, big smiles on the face of their players. There's Lachlan Chubb, Woodward, and a couple of players outstanding, but I suppose in the end it's got to go down as a team effort by
I think
Hong
so.
Kong.
I was taking my hats off to Korea. They were down to 14 men, and people must not forget that this was a fantastic second half by Korea, and I thought they'd done enough with 14 men, living off the mistakes made by the Hong Kong players, particularly in the last 20 minutes, and but Hong Kong stuck with it, and significantly going down to 13 men on the last play, and in the end they didn't have enough men on their feet to cover the space and coverage that they needed, and a critical score, and the first win for Hong Kong in Korea in many, many years.
Yeah, and as you say, right at the end, it was the speed of the guys, and they weren't going to give up. They had a couple of times they knocked on the door and they were shut out. But
I think Hong Kong never gave up. I mean, I'm sat, over the moon as a better performance. It's fantastic for the coaching team. They've worked hard, but they'll be really, really disappointed by the mistakes the Hong Kong team made, placing themselves in this position of needing to do something special in injury time at the end of the game. And but it's a fantastic win. It's been a long time since Hong Kong have won in Korea.
Okay, let's find out down on the ground, and let's see from what is happening and how the coach feels.
Okay, Andy,
Here's
it was
the coach
a good win
talking
at the very
Tom
finish, but didn't quite do enough to take second place. What are your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I think it's funny that last play where we've scored, it's changed my my post-match talk a little bit more. Our individual errors created opportunities for them, but it was our character that got us out of it. So two huge points to take forward. Not to the next game. Looking there, okay. Not just the next game, but moving forward with this group. The importance of your individual role and responsibility within our systems, but that character at the end there was superb, and I'm really proud of the men who for coming back that strongly in the dying seconds, let alone minutes.
So one more game against Japan next week. What do you want to tighten up for that game?
Yeah, those individual errors and those individual roles really within our systems. I think if we can we talked about mini victories the last time we played against Japan. If we can get those little bits correct, then for us it'll be our mini win, if you like.
Great, thanks Andy, see you next week.
Sean Moore there talking to Andy Hall, the successful coach of the Hong Kong team, and he's proud of all his guys and of course of his coaching staff. And our proud man sitting right beside me is the man who's the high performance coach of the Hong Kong Rugby, Diary. So how about that?
Well, interesting. Yeah, they did stick with it, as we said. There were too many mistakes, interception passes, which we've just seen on screen. But lots of mistakes. But interestingly as well, Sean Moore's written next week off. I don't think we're automatically third. I think that Hong Kong, if they can take bonus points or even pinch a win against Japan next week at Aberdeen Stadium.
There's some of the highlights of the second half, and what a cracking second half it was too.
It was a great game of rugby in terms of entertainment. I'm not sure it wasn't for the faint-hearted, but certainly again, I keep going back to it. Too many mistakes from both sides, really. But really pleasing that Hong Kong came away with a winning career, as I say, for the first time in many years, and certainly the first time in the last 10 years.
But the neutral that came to see the game, they would have gone away very happy. You've got big forwards scoring, you've got the captain scoring, you've got great performances from the Koreans and these speedsters.
Yeah, some great interplay, and neither team stopped playing. Both teams it was an entertaining game. Mistakes are made, I suppose. The best in the world, the All Blacks, play carefree rugby on occasions and not afraid, and so in criticising them, I suppose if we can just tighten up two of those mistakes in terms of career and Hong Kong, it would be a cleaner game. But yeah, it was entertaining.
There's the graphics of the final score and the stats for you.
Yeah, and interesting. Look at the swing in the tackle count, second half and possession. At half time, Korea had made half the amount of tackles that Hong Kong did. Look, second half, now they've taken over the tackle count. So evidence again that the second half was Hong Kong all the way.
And the second last line there, the turnovers, evened itself up nearly.
Yeah, without a doubt. And the penalty count was huge. Was significant. I'm not quite sure if they are accurate, because there were a number of penalties given in the game. Yeah, an interesting statistic there in terms of penalty count was low for an international game, though.
Exactly, some very interesting stats to contemplate. Next week, of course, one of the big games coming up, Hong Kong take on Japan. All roads will lead to the Aberdeen Stadium in Hong Kong. And you can see there on our graphic the time kicking off. Locally time in Hong Kong at 1600, 8 a.m. GMT. And that'll be a cracking game to bring you next week. Hong Kong, after their victory here against Korea, taking on Japan. And of course, for all of you around the world interested in Asian Rugby Championship, there's all the information that you want to get information. Facebook is one of the places to go, and you can go on Twitter as well, Rugby Asia Championship, and you can get us on the internet as well. All of the details there of everything to do with rugby in Asia. So that's it from the magnificent stadium here in Namdong Rugby Stadium in Incheon. A victory by 1 point by Hong Kong over Korea. So until next week, with the cracking game coming up, Hong Kong against Japan, we'll say good afternoon to you now from Incheon.